You see the little shit going. That's a video.
I've always said, boxing it's not a level playing field having the gloves. Every glove is different. Look, when I fought Canelo, he had the Everlast horsehair gloves on. Bro, I put my hand in them and I'm like, wow, I pushed through a wall, but you're gonna damage your own hands as well. You know what I mean? They were solid, like there's no knuckle in it. You know what I mean? It's like being hit with a baseball bat. So the foam padding ones don't really. The shape always stays the same way. Okay. Whereas with the horsehair disappears and fades more to the back of the hand. So that way, your knuckles are, in a way, more visible. You're gonna feel them.
Wow. That was a segment from Amir Khan. And Amir Khan reveals that Canelo's punches are like being hit with a baseball bat due to the champ's thinly padded gloves. Now, we all know that Amir Khan jumped from welterweight to challenge Canelo at the WBC at his Canelo's weight, which was 155. 155. Despite the fight taking place at the catch weight limit, okay, which is normally 160 pounds. Of course, we know Canelo fought about 5 or 6 times like that ever since the Angulo fight, okay? That's when it was first implemented, a little history lesson, because Canelo could not make the 154-pound weight. Well, when he got the WBC middleweight championship belt from Cotto, right, he then started fighting at a catch weight. So he brought Amir Khan up there, okay? And we all know Amir Khan is a guy that is chinny anyway, okay? You hit him in the right area, he's going down. And what happens with Amir Khan at that point, he was knocked out cold, okay? British Prescott knocked him out. Danny Garcia, he eventually got stopped by Danny Garcia, but it was because of this one punch. He kind of hit him like in the neck area. So anywhere in that area of his cerebral is vulnerable, okay? And what he was saying was he's actually giving you a excuse on Canelo's gloves. He's saying like he put his hand in that glove, and it looked like it didn't have any padding in it, okay? Now, Khan, he opted to wear a different type of Everlast glove, okay? And like he said, every glove is different. But when he fought Canelo, he had the Everlast horsehair gloves, and of course he said when he put it on, it was like pushing to the wall, okay? But you're going to damage your hands as well. And they were solid. It was like being hit with a baseball bat. Now, let me counterpunch this first of all. We got a guy that's chinny telling you years after the fact, I think that was in 15 when he fought, 15 or 16 when he fought Canelo. And he now speaks of the glove, okay? And all this was, of course, sparked from, the glove gate, quote unquote, conspiracy theory or whatever from Tyson Fury's gloves. And now the gloves have been an issue on if people are cheating, what they're doing to cheat, and this is how this goes, okay? So this conversation was actually a little segment of what he was explaining. And the main thing that he explained, the first thing he said, that all gloves are different. You do have horsehair gloves. You do have gloves where the padding is more in the wrist area, okay, instead of the fist, okay? And a little history lesson, people. Gloves were only put on the fighter's hands to protect their hands, not the person's face. Okay, boxing has always been a brutal sport, and Amir Khan knew better, and he knows better, and he's careful with his words, but I know what he's trying to say. What he's trying to say is Canelo was cheating because his gloves were too thin, but that's not the case. Okay, Canelo wanted to wear certain gloves that were cleared by the commission, and he wore them. The horsehair gloves that gives you a certain advantage You know, if you're a puncher, you want to use those gloves. Like Reyes gloves, they're puncher's gloves. Okay? Like Everlast, some of those gloves are made for punching, then some of them are made for blocking. Okay? And it depends on what style of fighter you are, dictates which one you want to pick. If you're a Mike Tyson-like guy, you want to pick some Reyes gloves because they're puncher's gloves. Okay? Some gloves are better on your hands. If you're Floyd Mayweather, you would want a particular type of glove that actually protects your hand so you won't damage them over time. And we all know that Floyd Mayweather has very brittle hands, okay? And then a lot of times people criticize Mayweather for the way he fought, but he fought a lot of times he fought in a way because of all the action and the damage that he put on his hands earlier, okay? So as Amir Khan, what he's trying to do, and I know what he's trying to do, he's trying to give an excuse for him getting knocked out cold because Canelo Alvarez has those gloves. But let's be real, okay? If that was the case, we analyze each glove that each of those fighters that knocked out Amir Khan had, okay? I guarantee you they weren't all horsehair, okay? And then what he is trying to say is, oh, well, it was like pushing a wall. It was like getting hit with a bat. Yeah, I pretty much think it was probably him hitting you with a bat because you got a middleweight knocking you out. You've never been in it with a guy that big, for one. That may be a factor. Two, your chin. You don't have one. That may be another factor, okay? But now bringing up the gloves to bring light on your knockout, to shun or to take credit away from Canelo. For one, first of all, Canelo doesn't really get credit for fighting Amir Khan. Just like Gennady Golovkin really doesn't get credit for fighting Kell Brook. Okay? Because they're smaller guys. All right, let's be real. But one thing I don't want to hear is, because y'all are stupid enough to get in the ring with those big guys, don't be surprised on the outcome. There's a reason for weight classes, okay? And it's not like Canelo can't punch. So you're going in there with a guy, a big solid guy with a thick neck, right? In a stocky frame, catch you flush on your chin and puts you flat out, okay? And now you want to, and the only thing you want to allude to is his gloves were thin, okay? I don't want to hear that. You can't use that as an excuse, okay? The reason for that are all the other things that I mentioned, and so if Amir Khan was real about that, he would have said, yeah, well, I was in there with a bigger guy and he caught me with a good shot and then I wasn't prepared for it because he fainted, right? And then Amir Khan, he's springy, he's froggy, so he reacted to it and bow, knocked him clean out. He was on his back for a very, very long time. So I think that's what happened to Amir Khan. But him trying to use this, he was like, hey, every glove is different. So don't try to blame the glove. Blame your chin and the fighter that hit you. But anyway, that's my Counterpunch. You guys tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.